Hi, so tell me your name and how long you've been teaching with AIM.
My name is Kristopher Morehead. I'm from Springfield, Missouri, and actually I just completed my first year teaching with AIM.
How did it go?
It's been a great year for me. One of the things that I really enjoy about AIM is it pretty much makes me look like a rock star. All I have to do is follow the recipe, basically. You know, I always explain to everybody, okay, I want to create a gourmet meal, but I'm not real sure how to make that happen, so I call the grocery store and say, hey, send me all the ingredients and the recipe. Let's make this happen. And that's exactly what it is with AIM. You know, they send you the kit. All you got to do is follow the kit, follow the recipe, and you look like a genius.
And how did your students fare with it?
My students did really well. I'm seeing much more communication from my students that I had in past years and previous years. I have my students addressing me in the hallway in the target language quite often. And I even have students that aren't even in my class addressing me in the target language because they just know that I'm the guy that doesn't speak English.
And I believe you had some funky incidents with graffiti in your school?
Yeah, you know, target language is being used throughout my school outside of the classroom, which is the goal. I want our kids to be able to use the language outside the classroom. So I noticed one day that there was some graffiti in French in our boys' restroom. It was a really powerful message. I don't remember what had been written on the stall previously to that, but it had been scratched out, and the child had written "Parlons français."
We're not condoning graffiti,
right,
but that is
graffiti. No, it happened.
That's hilarious. All right, so yesterday we got to hear Dr. Krashen speak about compelling input and how that really puts you in the flow. It really helps you learn. It makes the affective filter just disappear so that you are comfortable. Have you ever experienced a point in your classroom with AIM where your students have just been so into it and they were just like...
Yeah, you know, the great thing about AIM is that it really allows the students to let down their guard. You know, they're not self-conscious of the fact that they are speaking a language they're not real certain in. My kids are taking greater risks now than they ever have using any previous methodology that I have used. And they're using the language to try and make a difference in things that are happening in their lives. On the way to school, one morning I had heard on the radio that there was a state representative in the state of Missouri who wanted to eradicate half of the otter population because he felt it was bad for sport fishing. So when I got to school that day, then I shared with all my classes, we were having this discussion in the target language speaking about this man who wanted to kill these otters, and my kids were really upset by that, and they wanted to write letters to him. So we sent approximately 180 letters to this guy in French, and they were all asking me, est-ce qu'il parle français? I said, no, he doesn't, so I will write him one letter in English explaining what all your letters said. And it was really interesting to see the arguments that some of my students had made. You know, obviously they had a very limited vocabulary at that point, so some of them were saying things like, you're mean, you are stupid, please don't kill the otters. But some of the students made really compelling arguments. There was one student who said, I eat fish too, do you want to kill me? And I thought that was just really amazing that he would be able to take all the words that he had learned and put those together to form complete thoughts that were, had absolutely nothing to do with what we were studying in class at that point, but he could use the language, and he could create in the language, and that was really fascinating for me.
That's awesome. They definitely didn't have the affective filter up that day.
They were going straight into it.
They were flowing.
You know? And I even had some parents come up to me towards the end of the school year. They had an 8th grade student, and they, both mom and dad, speak French, and they told me that just only a few short days before that, they had their first conversation with their child in the target language, and that had never happened before. And they were really just thrilled to have had that opportunity to do that, So my kids had enough confidence then that they were able to go home and use the language with their parents, which she had never done before.
That's amazing. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kristoph. Is there anything else you'd like to add about this past year? It's your first full year with AIM.
Yeah, it's just been great. It's changed the way that I teach. It's changed my whole perspective on my career, really, and my path on what I want to do with my kids. I'm really looking forward to the second year and seeing what sort of gains we can make from that, too.
Wonderful. Well, I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks.